Okay, picking up where we left off in the last video, we just added our printers from the work group to 3D Printer OS. We can see everything here. There is some toggle buttons here to change the viewing mode. You can see we've got some printers running, some that are waiting to have the bed clear or maintenance on done to them. So you can view all that here. To upload files and send them to the printer, we're going to go to the Files tab. Here we can click the Add Files button and then either drag and drop or go to Select from Computer. We can upload here STL, OBJ, or G-code. We need to make sure that we have a closed watertight STL or OBJ that we're uploading. So I'm going to select this file here and click Open. And we can see that loads in. There's a few options to look at the layout or to slice. We can also just click directly on the file shown here. And that's going to automatically open up the file in the layout view. So this is the built-in sort of viewing and slicing system for 3D Printer OS that we're working in now. This is kind of mirrors the Prusa slicer, but it is a little bit different. You may notice my parts are really small, so the first thing I want to do is actually go to the Scale button up here. And the default units are millimeter, and I drew my object in inch units. So to scale it, I can go click the millimeter to inch button. You can see that adds that 2540 percentage and brings my part up to the proper size. You'll notice this red pop up here, the object's out of the printer box. When we scale, it changed the sort of size and location of everything. In order to fix that, we can click the optimal rotate button down here, and it will automatically upright our print and locate it flat on the build plate and in the center of the build plate. The next thing we want to do is make sure to select our printer. So you can see we have all of the printers we have available listed here. We have our Bambu Lab P1S, our Prusa Minis, and our Prusa Mark IVs. If we select the Mini, you can see that tray size changes, and we're getting a little close to the edges with this print, so we probably want to go a bit bigger. See the Bambu Labs, it fits pretty well as well. I'm going to use the Prusa Mark IVs because we have the most of those in the lab here. With that all done, we can go up to the Slice button. So the slicer is set up to make the slicing process really simplified. So we're limiting some of the options that you have available in here. I'm logged in currently as an admin, so I will see more options than what you will see when you log in. But because we're using the Prusa slicer, the family will default to the Prusa Mark IV, and the profile will default to Prusa Mark IV, and the printer model is going to default. So we don't need to edit those things. All of our printers have 0.4 millimeter nozzles, so we won't be able to change that. 0.2 millimeter speed will be the default setting. You can adjust that slightly, but we are limiting how small of a layer you can change. Also, all of the printers will be using PLA, so the filament will be set to PLA, and you won't be able to change that. Moving down into the settings, again, 0.2 is the default layer thickness. That's what we recommend. You could go down to 0.15, but that's going to be the smallest that we'll let people select. For perimeters, this is also sometimes referred to as the shells. We're going to limit this between 2 to 5 shells. More shells will make the prints stronger, but it will also add print time. Infill density, also 10 will be the default. We will allow this to vary from, I believe, 5 to 20, but we don't want to have prints with more than 20 density because they start to take a lot of time. You can select any one of the infill patterns. There's no sort of limits to what you can select there. And finally, we want to make sure to choose an option for brim and for support. So if you're new to 3D printing, one thing that you can always do is just make sure that you have support set and a brim set. So we can say no brim, but we can do outer brim or an inner brim or outer and inner brim. Generally speaking, the outer brim should be enough. So we can leave that on by default. The 4 millimeter width is generally pretty strong, so there's not a lot of need to change that. For supports, there's 3 options: grid, snug, and organic. We generally recommend organic, as those use the least amount of material, take the least amount of time, and are the easiest to remove. There are situations where if your parts are hovering over the build plate but very close to the build plate, grid or snug may be more appropriate. You could always kind of come to the lab and ask for advice in that situation if you're not sure. But I would say go ahead with organic. These other settings over here, these are based on the filament type and the slicing profile, so those will be set and you won't be able to adjust those. So again, it's meant to be kind of super quick and easy. So we just want to make sure to select the option for brim and support, and if you're more experienced with 3D printing, possibly adjust some of these parameters here. But by default, everything is kind of set up to be ready to go. Once we've adjusted our settings, we can go to the slice button or the slice and toolpath preview. So the toolpath preview here is going to show our brim in orange and our support in purple. And from here, we can also use the slider bar up here to slide down and check each layer of our print and just double check it to make sure it doesn't look like anything might not be supported and droop or anything like that. From here, we can click the print button. This is going to open up the print dialog, and we can see all our Prusa printers here. Right now, they are all showing that the bed is not clear, so they are not ready to have prints sent to them. The staff in the lab will take care of the process for clearing the print beds and marking them clear, so you'll have to wait for the staff to do that. If there are prints submitted to the printer, you will see the total time. You won't see every print, but you can see the total time submitted. So in this case, Prusa 6 is the only one that has a print in the queue. The rest are just waiting for the bed to be clear, and if I submit to any of these, my file will be the next to go. So I'll just go ahead and click Prusa 7. And in this case, I only have the option to queue. If the bed was clear and ready to go, we can click the print button and it will start our file right away. If you're doing that, we do recommend to click here and just kind of preview the print video. So here you can see that there is a print on that printer, so that bed needs to be cleared still. So I'll queue to Prusa 7, and you can quickly saw that my print popped up there, and then I can, if I want to, I can navigate over to printers and scroll down, and I can see my test print queued in line there with Prusa 7.